Keep listening.
Well, that would be tough.
Horrifying.
But that does
tough.
sound like you.
It does. Sounds just like me.
That sounds like you.
Yeah. 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 I got another here.
Totally.
It sounds just like me.
Yeah. Wow. See, this game could become difficult.
Are you part lynx?
Maybe.
Who would know?
Dunkin' is the official coffee of the KVJ Show. America runs on Dunkin'. The KVJ Show is now live on 97.9 WRMF.
It's time to wake up and let the weirdness begin. It's the KVJ Show to start your morning. Kevin is the host, and his skin pigment is whiter than Casper the Ghost. Virginia sounds like this. Nickname Vicious Beast, so don't get her pissed. It's Jason, talks like a spaz, and they love to talk about Bigfoot and stats. So get ready, here we go. You're listening to 97.9 with the KVJ Show.
Good morning, everybody. Happy hump day.
Woo, woo.
You guys ready to hump?
Is your voice okay?
No, I was just telling Denny's this. I had an event last night. It was a drinking event, but I did not drink.
What?
I did not have one sip of alcohol because I was like, I got to get up early. But we were just talking about it. Denny's and I agree. It's the microphone work.
Yeah, well, if you're by a big speaker too, I don't know if you were, or even any kind of music that you have to raise your voice oh so slightly in the evening time, you're done.
I know.
Done.
It's just so bad now. I have like old man voice. I didn't drink a sip of alcohol last night because I figured, okay, that's the thing. I'm drinking too much. It's drying me out like a prune. So I'm going to stop drinking. I'm just going to take it easy a little bit. Didn't drink a sip of alcohol at a drinking event. And I still sound like I have 8 glass for breakfast.
How much sleep did you get?
I got totally 8.5 hours yesterday between what I took at night and what I took in a nap.
Okay.
You have to start resting your voice, and I think it should start around 7 a.m.
You're going to give her the 6 o'clock hour?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just kidding, Mama. Do you need some breakfast?
I don't think you're wrong.
You do need to rest your voice,
I need to rest my voice.
And I think you might be dehydrated. How much water are you drinking per day?
I drink a crap ton of water. I drink both of these, probably refill both of them twice during the show. I have one in the car all day that I drink. When I go home, I drink water. Like, I drink a lot of water.
It's the music and it's the microphone stuff. I know I even get that when we do an event and the speakers are loud. I have to even just have a conversation with you on the side. It blows me out.
Yeah.
Well, good news. Saturday, microphone event. Sunday, microphone event.
Yeah. You need to just take a little time off, Virginia.
Call in.
I'm going to call in Mags. I'm going to make her come with me to my events and do all the talking.
Okay.
I don't think that's a bad idea.
I did it one year for a costume contest when I literally had lost my voice.
Yeah.
And she did not do a bad job.
So better Mags than Rocco, because we don't want to offend anybody with any
True.
F-bombs.
That's a good point, yeah. Can't control the 4-year-old's language. Well, we'll see how it goes here today. We're hoping to get a bit together that could be fun. Now, Virginia will be a part of the bit, but you won't have to use your voice. It is Creepy Laugh, Virginia or Evil. So, yes, we could play that maybe a little bit later on today. In fact, can you take that one laugh you just got right there? We'll use that.
That was almost kind of like a small witch's laugh. Like, I'm going to hurt you.
I'm giggling because I'm under your bed and I know you just got home and I'm going to kill you, but I'm not going to kill you yet.
No, you have one giggle or one laugh. It's anytime I have pain done to me, she's like,
Just thinking about pain done to you makes me laugh.
Yes. So maybe we can save your voice and get that bit a little bit later on for some Halloween Horror Night tickets. Going to do that, and we'll also give you the 3 songs you need 3 days left of the KVJ 5K triple play at 7:10. We'll tell you what they are.
KVJ not only does a radio show, but also does an after-the-show podcast. Watch or listen on kvjshow.com.
What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about? What's on your mind? Are you thinking about? What are you thinking about?
What you got in your mind today, Jay Bird?
So I told you about one of my buddies that believes end of times is near. So he took out his money out of his bank account. He really has like this bunker out in the woods. And he really believes that. And I don't know if you guys saw this crazy story. A family in the Netherlands just emerged from a basement after they spent 9 years hiding out and preparing for the apocalypse. One of them finally left. I believe it was one of the sons that left and went to a bar.
Yeah.
Had 5 beers, and then told the bartender all this stuff about how his dad's keeping them all at this farm, and then there's this little room. He's got other family members there. He hadn't been to a barber in 9 years. He's never... I think he said he'd never been to school, and all of this is because the dad was keeping them captive, saying end of times were near. It was on this big farm, and they were living in this small little room in the basement.
If someone's screaming end of times, and it's like year 1 and it still doesn't happen, aren't you like, okay, I'm going to try to break out? How are you there for 9 years?
It goes back to all that cult stuff we talked about. They even said Charles Manson's, the girls that were in prison, it took them a good 3 or 4 or 5 years to get out of that Charles Manson mind frame of going, oh yeah, there's not going to be this big war that's going to happen. And they thought that for a long time after, even while they were in prison.
Yeah.
It's crazy how this cult stuff works.
Well, there's so much stuff in imagery, and I don't know where they got it from me, but I know, at least in my own thing, the Bible-based stuff, there's a lot of imagery in there, and a lot of it's just cryptic. Like, you don't know. It's like, there are things about, like, there are wars and rumors of wars and all these kind of things that you would see, and they try to link them to this imagery, to real life facts, saying, oh, this is going to happen. And I remember, like, for instance, when I was a kid, there's the word wormwood that is in, like, Revelation. And that is one of the signs of the end times. And I think it was Chernobyl translates into wormwood, and they're like going, see, that is one of the signs of the end times. And so, you can always find these kind of little correlations. So certain groups will go through and nitpick little things out of the Bible, or especially the book of Revelations, which is horrifying. And they'll be like, see, that's a common day occurrence, and that person is the Antichrist because they did this, and that's a sign of that. And then they get everybody freaked out.
And think about, too, it's your parent that's saying all this stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're a kid, you believe your parents, and if you are trained to believe that, and then you're never allowed out of your house. The mom passed away a few years back in the day, so it was just the dad running the show, and he's got all these kids there. I mean...
And then the question is, too, I don't know if he's even the dad. Like the biological father.
You don't even, they're trying to figure all of this stuff out.
Oh my God.
The mail guy said he never ever dropped mail off there. Yeah. And then he goes, now that I think about it, it was pretty weird that I never dropped mail off there.
Yeah.
After 9 years, you're thinking it's weird?
They had a garden outside, and they had a goat, and apparently it was only the 58-year-old stepdad or whatever he was, they're still trying to figure that out, that was going outside, and the rest of all the kids, they were confined to this small little space that they had. It was apparently a small little secret room that was hidden by a staircase behind a cupboard in the living room.
What the hell?
So imagine you're the one that breaks out. What finally makes you do it? You're probably contemplating that the entire time.
I think as you just get older, you just start to see and you start to question. I think that happens for anybody that is even raised in any kind of religion, where they've got their own questions. They've heard stuff and like going, that doesn't sound right. And you start to think for yourself. And I'm sure this guy was squirrely anyway that was keeping him in there. And after a while, as you get older, you're like going, that just doesn't seem right. Just, basic common sense, even though I've not been exposed to the world in 9 years, doesn't rationally seem right to me. Now, how he knew to find a bar after 9 years and to go and to gunk down 5 beers, and they said he looked a little disoriented, and they're like going, hey, bud, you okay?
They
and
said
after
he
5 beers, he started talking.
Yeah, long hair, big bushy beard.
And how old was he?
The story was kind of long. I don't have all the details, but they think he's one of the sons, I believe, that finally broke out. He might be the oldest one, maybe?
Yeah, it said he's probably the 25-year-old because they had 5 young adults aged 18 to 25, so it wasn't like small children. Even the youngest was 18. I believe he was 25, and they've been in there for
9 years.
9 years, so imagine being 16 years old And all of a sudden, this guy's like, it's the end of times. Go hide in this room and then don't come out. And you're like, okay, year 1, year 2, year 3.
Someone like that probably been grooming them the entire time, even before all that. And then he probably...
Now it's time.
Now it's time. It's time to get scared.
Creepy.
Isn't that creepy?
It's a crazy story. Crazy story. And thank God it didn't happen in Florida.
Yes.
For once.
Yes. What's on your mind today, Virginia?
I saw this article this morning about something. I've been wanting to do yoga, but I don't know if this is the way I would go with it. Rage yoga. It's now a thing where you're like cursing, listening to loud music, yelling at the other participants, letting go of all your negative energy, and the whole time you're drinking while you're doing this rage yoga. It's apparently the next big thing.
It's not the next. I mean, it's so not.
That sounds pointless and kind of dumb. First of all, look, I love having a couple cocktails, and yoga's fine, but I can't do yoga when I'm completely sober. I can't even imagine having a couple drinks and then trying some of those poses.
And I thought yoga also is trying to get to your center place and start to get all enlightened.
It's as goofy as it could be because it's something that requires great balance. Yet you're going to drink. It's something that's all about calming and peace and centering yourself, and then you're screaming. So what is it? We taking everything in contrast either side of it?
Don't tell me how to live my life, Kevin.
I'm not. You do what you want to do.
Rage yoga sounds amazing.
I'm just over here have a beer and tell you it's stupid.
Well, that's what would happen. You start drinking, and all of a sudden you're trying to get all, hey, don't tell me how to live my life. Just start fighting with everybody.
Yeah.
Rage yoga.
Kind of a mess. What I got on my mind today, this sounds pretty awesome. We'll have to see what happens with it. But, there's so many great events that happen in South Florida that, as you start to get out to them and, they're just so much fun. Anything from like your Honda Classics to the Polo and things like that. And now it looks like we might have another cool event here in South Florida. They're talking about adding a Formula One race. It's going to be at Hard Rock Stadium, and it's going to be the Miami Grand Prix beginning in May of 2021. So not this coming May, but a year after that. They're putting a ton of stuff down around Hard Rock Stadium. They just added the Miami Open there with the courts, had that there for the first time this year. And that's Stephen Ross, the guy that owns the Dolphins, man. He is not messing around. He's already spent $550 million in stadium renovations to Hard Rock, $70 million to make the tennis stadium where they're doing the Miami Open. And he's also committed $125 million for the Dolphins' new training facility that's going to open in 2021 right there at Hard Rock. I mean, the whole complex is going to be absolutely amazing. They say this whole race, it's going to be probably one of those typical South Florida events where all the posh people are going to go. And, of course, they're going to have VIP suites and all that. And it'll be more about, like, even if you don't know anything about Formula One racing or even care, you're going to go because it's going to be a massive social event.
Sure, like everything.
Like everything in South Florida, and it's all fun. It's all great. And they're saying it could be really big for South Florida. In fact, they say the financial impact could be equivalent to hosting NFL Super Bowl every year.
Wow.
$400 million, including 4,000 new jobs annually. So for South Florida, that's what we do.
That does not suck for the economy.
It does not. Now, the big question is, what does it mean for the environment? There are some people that have already started protesting, saying that adding a Formula One track there and everything else is going to destroy the ecosystem around the stadium. So they'll have that little hurdle to have to go around, and I'm sure after they pay those people off, then they'll probably get it done. So we'll see what happens. But it looks like they're getting a Formula One race in Miami.
Fancy.
So, yeah, thought that was kind of cool. All right, coming up here in just a bit, I know, Virginia, you got a Bahamas update for us.
I do.
Let us know what is going to be going on with that. So if you contribute to the KVJ 48 and the $200,000 that we're able to raise to rebuild the Bahamas, we'll let you know the latest on what's going on with that coming up.
Get the info on everything that's going on with us at kvjshow.com.
Well, you might remember a couple weeks ago, we did the KVJ 48 hours. We're on the radio nonstop for 48 hours here with the KVJ show. Jaybird was in here the entire time. And in that time, we're able to raise $200,000 to help rebuild the Bahamas. And it's been amazing just being able to not only be a part of raising all that money, but to then start getting the supplies that we need and seeing specifically what we can do to help rebuild build the town of West End that is over there. And the last you told us, Virginia, we had a shipping container that was full of stuff that was over there in the Bahamas, sitting, waiting. They had the stuff. They were just going to open it up and start tacking things together and start rebuilding West End to get it the way it was before Hurricane Dorian.
So it's tricky over in the Bahamas. You know, when stuff gets dropped off, you can't just open it up and start working. The guys from customs have to come over. They have to inspect everything. And so the container came over the weekend, and it was kind of just sitting there waiting. And they finally got to open it up yesterday.
Okay.
And they got to inspect everything. The reason we had such a rush on it, we wanted to get it there before the 15th, was because we were told by the Bahamian officials that after the 15th, they would start putting taxes and tariffs on everything that came in, so that like everything you donate, if you donate, you know, say a refrigerator for the school, which we are donating, and that thing is worth $1,000, then they would also tack on a tariff with that. And sometimes it's 50% of the value. Sometimes it's 100% of the value.
Oh, wow.
But they had waived all those taxes and tariffs so that through the 15th, everything was going over there duty-free, tax-free, tariff-free. And that's why we were trying to rush everything over there. But they also this week announced that they will continue this tariff-free for the next year.
Oh, that's awesome.
So the next year, we can continue to get stuff over there and not have to pay those big, huge tariffs. So we were all like, phew, okay. We can stop the crazy urgency of we must get stuff over there now, this week. So we have 4 shipping containers. We have a 40-foot one that just landed there. It just opened yesterday, filled with relief, building materials, roofing materials, sheetrock, insulation. And that container is going to stay there. We purchased that container because not only is it used to transport, it's going to be used to store all this stuff, so it doesn't get damaged by the weather or the rain or anything like that. So that will stay there. The other 2 20-foot containers are now being filled with things like stoves for the school, water dispensers for the school, microwaves for the school, cleaning supplies, insulation. All that stuff is going in this week, and the next shipping container will probably be going out in the next like 2 or 3 days. Thank you so much to our friends at Toll Brothers and at Lowe's. They have stepped up so huge to help us out with not only getting the stuff at a discount, but then getting it over there. You know, this is a world that none of us knew how to navigate, but thank God for Jason and the team at Toll Brothers. They have really been so crucial in helping us with that.
Yeah, that's the one thing that we've learned. It's been years, you know, now that we've been getting hurricanes and have been trying to do this kind of stuff, but it's become crystal clear to us. The most important thing is you got to figure out attribution first and how you're going to get these stuff to the people really before you even collect, because if you just start saying, bring us your stuff.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
So many people here locally did collection.
Yeah.
And there is still stuff sitting here locally that we are helping people put on these containers that we're shipping over there. A lot of relief went over there with that first 40-foot container because people collected all this stuff and then had no way to get it there. It's expensive to get it there.
Well, and sometimes, too, it seems like you may not collect the right things, and then they're like going, don't bring this here because we don't have any room to store it, and it's not stuff we need anyway. So you thought like, okay, this seems to be standard hurricane stuff, but for that area, they're like, no, we're good on that. We don't need that.
Yeah, it's totally changed. You know, it went from being a relief effort with a lot of food and water now to being like, okay, how do we help these people rebuild their homes and their lives? So and we're starting with the school, we're starting with the clinic, and then we're going to get into, you know, people's homes. The churches are helping us pick the most needy, the most elderly families first. So those people that are in the most dire situation will be helped first, and then hopefully everybody will be able to feel a bit of this trickle down love.
And we'll make sure to get lots of photos and videos so you can see exactly where your donations went.
Absolutely.
The faces of the people that it's helping. So thank you again very much to everybody that did any kind of contribution to the KVJ 48. We appreciate it. Coming up here in just a couple minutes, does anybody here on the show suffer from nomophobia? Alina had texted in. She said, can people still donate money for the KVJ 48? Yeah, that's still up and running, I believe. Correct, Virginia?
Yes, it is. It's very much still up and running because as people are giving me cash, I'm just putting it right on there.
Okay, it's KVJ Bahama, so 44321.
That's
right?
it. Yeah.
Okay, so 44321. You just check out KVJ Bahamas to that. It'll prompt you for the money donation you want to give.
And we're going to do probably some more drives coming up in the future. You know, we still have a nice big chunk of the money. We've only spent about half of it, you know, on shipping containers and building materials and things for the school like appliances and cleaning supplies and microwaves. We've only spent about half of that $200,000. So that's very exciting.
I can still go if I'm in the cheerleading outfit, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You got to get your passport.
Yes.
That's more important than what you wear.
Okay, well, I just got my ticket to Oregon, so passport is next.
Okay, getting it.
Yes, sir.
There's a guy that's in West Palm. I don't know if you heard about this. Got a little bit of money. Maybe he might donate a little chunk to us. Did you hear about that dude in West Palm that paid $10 on a scratch-off and won $2 million?
Nice.
Pretty sweet, huh?
Good for him.
Lorenzo Helguera, 61-year-old dude. He got the $2 million cash word scratch-off game, and he's taking that lump sum, $1.475 million.
It's the right move.
Oh, I mean, that's just amazing.
Get it now.
From scratch off?
One scratch off.
Hey, I didn't think
$10, yeah.
I didn't think those were still awesome and good, and people still did those things.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, some of them are even $20. I've seen $20 scratch off before.
I saw a 30 yesterday. $30 scratch off.
So does that mean your chances of winning are more likely, or?
I don't know.
Is
I think
that-
your chances are your chances.
Gosh.
Yeah, I mean, the chances, are kind of like still standard the same. I think each game kind of has their own chances. In fact, the odds of winning what he won is 1 in 2.84 million.
Oh,
Wow.
Look at that.
2,840,000.
It was your day, Lorenzo.
So you could buy 8 of those $30 tickets and get absolutely nothing.
You usually get like a few that are winners. I mean, I think the higher dollar you pay for the ticket seems to be the higher dollar return.
That's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, I've noticed that if you buy a bunch of $2 tickets, you'll win a bunch of $2 prizes.
Yeah.
But if you buy like a few $30 tickets, you might win a few $30 prizes.
Maybe you win 500 bones or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad. The place that sold him the ticket, the Marathon Food Mart on Lake Avenue in West Palm, they get $4,000
Wow.
just for selling the ticket.
Now, does the owner get that, or does that go back into the store?
Then it goes to the owner.
Wow, look at that. I kind of want to play the lottery today.
Kind of like won his own right there.
It is the best publicity for the lottery, these winner stories of a scratch off where a guy wins millions.
But then I'm thinking, okay, if Lake Worth won yesterday, there's no way Palm Beach County's going to win 2 days in a row.
You don't know.
Never know, Jay Bird. It's that kind of attitude. It probably kept many millionaires away from their prize.
All right, well, let's do it then.
Does anybody here on the show have nomophobia? What is it?
We don't even know what it is.
Well, it's in the Oxford English Dictionary, so you can just look it up. It is anxiety about not having access to a mobile phone. Nomophobia.
Yeah, I think everybody will have that eventually. If I don't have my phone for 18 hours, then I'll get that because I'm thinking, oh, but what if someone's trying to get a hold of me? My family thinks I'm dead again.
Yeah. I think that's kind of what it is. We've been trained.
I can't leave my house without it. If I leave my house and I don't have it, I'll turn around and go back.
I did the other day, and I loved it. When we went filming the dolphin stunt,
Yeah.
I didn't have my phone at all, and it was so freeing. It was nice.
Yeah, and I think that's really what it is. I think you just got to kind of like learn. If you are on free time, you're doing whatever you want to do, lose the phone. Don't have it with you. It's actually, it ruins free time. But yeah, for me, if I am on a work day and I don't have my phone, I might as well not even leave the house because I don't know where to go or what to do.
The emails will just stack up too. If you don't stay on top, if I don't stay on top of them, they stack up and it gives me anxiety.
It's weird. Even when I have my phone in my lap, emails stack up. It's weird how that works.
God, it's terrible. They talk about what it's doing to the human brain. It's got to be ruining mine. I can't spell anything anymore. I'm always having to spell check everything. And just even simple words. I'm like, what's wrong? I can't spell anything. And I'm wondering what this does because now I have it set up. Basically what my schedule looks like. Everything that I do throughout the course of the day, you can tell where I am at any given moment, what I need to do. And I'll have directions. So if I have to go somewhere, I just punch that up and have the map because I can't even drive anywhere now. And it's like, take a right. I'm like, okay. And I'm driving home. I mean, I don't know what I'd do. I mean, I definitely would have this. I am lost without my phone, and I'm training myself to be less. I am making myself more self-sufficient on this phone that if I don't have it, I can't do anything. I'm an invalid.
I had to really relearn or actually learn how to spell the word restaurant. I try to spell
a tricky one.
It's rest to you rant, and that's
that makes sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And if anybody should know how to spell restaurant, rest to you rant, it should be me.
You're right. You're their best supporter.
But autocorrect made me. It's off one little letter, and you can't get it. It's so annoying. It does. It makes me feel very dumb, Kevin.
Some of the new words that they have in the Oxford English Dictionary will make you feel dumb. Whatevs made it. Chillax made it. Promposal made it. Fake news made it. And they also added 5 Star Wars terms: lightsaber, Jedi, Padawan Force, and Jedi mind trick.
So those are now considered real words.
Real words. Yep. That's it.
Whatevs is a real word.
Whatevs. Yeah.
That's so silly.
I think that's really bringing down the dictionary.
It really is bringing down the dictionary.
I used to think the dictionary was smart. Whatevs?
Stupid.
Whatevs.
Chillax is making it?
Yeah, it is. That's what language is, though. You know, I took, when I was in college, I took a language class. It was very fascinating. And they said that's just it. Language is always moving and shifting. And you would go back to Old England, and I'm sure there were words like that they added, like poppycock. And they're like going, poppycock? We can't say poppycock. It's got a dirty word in it.
What does that even mean?
Poppycock, look it up. We have a dictionary for it. But I'm sure there were words when they spoke like this and they were so prim and proper, they could not believe that words now we think are prim and proper were like their version of whatevs and chillax.
I'm sorry, whatevs can't. I'll give you chillax. Whatevs should not make it. It's an abbreviated
language, man.
Yeah, I hate it.
Language is shifting and moving always.
I just feel like it's making the dictionary so dumb.
Whatevs is annoying.
It's annoying.
The dictionary's not there to tell you how to talk. It's just to define what people were saying.
I don't know, man.
I know.
I think the dictionary got this one wrong.
Amen.
So this fun little list of things people pretend to like but actually hate. And they do this because we are all sheep, and Instagram and our social media tells us what is popular and what we should like and what we should eat, what we should be dressing like. So that's why we are all sheep and need to know what chillax and whatevs means, is because people are telling us what to do.
And you don't want to be shamed and look stupid on Twitter.
You're right.
That's what will happen.
Yeah. And some of these things start to right themselves after a while, where enough people say, wait, no, you know what? I'm standing up and saying this is stupid.
I love it.
And one of those things that's starting to suffer is kale. Because for a while, people like everything had to be kale. Kale was great. I think kale used to just be like a garnish, right, for decoration. And then somebody put it in a smoothie, and all of a sudden, like, kale shakes. And we all had to have kale.
Not all of us. I've been going against kale from the beginning.
And by the way, all vegetables. For the most part.
Especially kale, though.
Yes.
I've been saying here on the microphone, nobody likes kale. You all are lying to yourselves. Beckett making me kale chips, trying to say it's better than Lay's.
You've been hating everything green, well, except one thing, for years.
Yes, that's true.
Not true. I love me some Yoda.
I'm talking about food.
Guy.
Or plants.
I got you.
Yeah, and the kale market has dropped off a ton from where it was back in 2015 when it hit its peak.
Because it sucks. It's terrible.
Yeah, and people are starting to say, yeah, wait a minute, kale does kind of suck. You really have to work with kale a lot to make it edible.
Oh, yeah.
You have to put like dressing on it, or you have to fry it and put cheese on it. You have to do something. If you just eat it in its natural form, it's like.
Ryan Beckett, he brought over some air sucky thing where it's supposed to suck out the bad stuff and put in the good stuff, and then you put, I don't know, vegan salt on it, and it was just not that good at all. It tasted like the ocean. It was not good.
No?
No, and he prepared it like the way you're supposed to prepare kale.
Mm-hmm.
Was it seaweed?
No, it was kale, and he did some sucky thing to it. Like, I'm talking about the machine, Kevin.
Oh, okay.
The machine.
Yes.
I would like to watch Beckett do some sucky thing
Right.
to your
Intriguing.
vegetables.
Take it easy, Richard.
Intriguing.
Make a video of that.
Okay, do you think these things could be exposed soon? Because their list, they said, look, wake up. These things are not great. You don't really like them. Kale, bacon, Adele, pumpkin spice.
Adele.
You know you don't really like Adele. Stop.
Oh, poor Adele.
Jazz,
Yeah.
reading, In fact, they even backed it up. They said, with reading, people act like, oh, yes, I read, blah, blah, blah. Especially people who read for fun or they're not reading something that is educational. It's like, yes, I just like to sit down with a good novel. More than 60% of people had lied about reading classic novels, with many using film adaptations and online summaries to feign knowledge. They're like going, we have the proof right here. You don't really like reading. You say you do because you think you appear smarter.
There's that one quote I always see on the quote boards and on Pinterest. All I need is a cozy blanket and a good book, and that's a great Friday. Like, come on, quit lying to yourself. It's not a great Friday.
That's just it. They're trying to shape themselves into the person they want to be. Some of the other things, a little bit more controversial, too. Things people pretend to like but actually hate. Being parents.
Oh, I know a couple parents who do not like being parents.
Oh, that one hurts. Don't let the kids find out.
True. When their friends succeed. Oh, that's so great. Oh, that's such a nice house. Oh, good for. Oh, you got a promotion. Oh, that's great.
Dang, they
good
don't
for you.
I don't know. Sometimes you want your friends to succeed, don't you?
Well, I don't know. Sometimes people pretend like they're very happy for the friends, but inside they're like, oh.
You should want your friends to succeed.
Should. It's the right thing. You're probably telling yourself, I want to be happy for my friends. But deep down inside, sometimes you just can't get away from that nagging feeling of, man, I really wish they were falling apart.
Is it possible they get good news, but they don't deserve good news, and that's why you're upset? Is that a possibility?
No, I think that sometimes it has to do with our own self-esteem. That we feel like someone else doing well is a condemnation on us, and it's not, but we can't help. I think sometimes it is human nature, and you have to fight that part of your humanity to do the right thing. You want to be happy when your friends are doing awesome and they got a new car and a new boat and a new house and they're doing fantastic. But deep down inside, you're like, dude.
We're all insecure and jealous to a certain extent.
Yes.
But that should motivate you to go get it yourself.
Well, I think it does for some people. I think they turned it into something positive. Then I think there's other people who just go on Facebook and then bitch and complain about it.
It's a choice.
It is a choice.
If you choose bitch and complain, just know it's a dead end.
I agree. I think everyone has that.
Something else that people pretend to like but actually hate, the truth.
Lie to me.
Yeah.
Lie to me. Make me think you're telling the truth. But go ahead. Lie to me.
That's it. And the one that really hits hard, themselves.
Oh, damn, Kevin.
I mean,
Oh.
You're dropping mine bombs.
Let that just sink in today. Big ol' happy birthday, John Mayer. Your boy's 42 today. Say what you need to say, Virginia.
Spring chicken.
yeah.
Tim Robbins, Shawshank Redemption, is 61 today.
Great movie, kids. Can kids watch that movie, Shawshank?
I think so. I don't think there's anything too nasty in it, is there?
Well, there's a couple adult parts.
And when we're talking about kids, are you talking about 7 or are you talking about 15?
7.
Okay.
I don't know if Shawshank could keep their
They probably,
attention.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I clearly don't have kids.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Gotta say happy 30th birthday to my best friend Courtney. Love you like peanut butter. That's from Duncan. Also got a birthday wish here from Rachel. Josh is my best friend, my rock, one of the best people I know. So a lot of good gushy things she said there. Wish him happy birthday from his wife Rachel and his kids Evelyn and Rowan. There you go. Happy birthday. Also got to say Lily Ray, happy 6 from Mommy, Daddy, Hayden, Cane Dog, Rizzo, and Meow Meow.
Meow, 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 meow.
Happy 13th to Maya Bear from Mommy, Papa, Ricky, Yurdle, and Chili. Also, Cody is having a 22nd birthday from Mom, Rick, and the girls. And Jameson, happy 11th birthday from Mom, Dad, and his brother Harrison. There you go. Well, here we go. 3 more days. Here to win the KVJ 5K Triple Play, $5,000. If you listen to 97.9 WRMF, you can win anywhere here in South Florida. People are going, can Miami people win? Yes, of course. Can Port St. Lucie people win? Yes, of course.
Even Port St. Lucie?
Even Port St. Lucie. Doesn't matter. If you're in the muck, you can win. It's all good.
Tallahassee?
You wouldn't be able to pick up the signal. You could try listening on the app, but like we'd said, there's a delay, and it's going to affect how quickly you can call in when that third song plays.
Just for giggles, though, Tally could win them.
They could.
Okay.
Yeah, hypothetically speaking.
I think we discussed, though, because we've really been trying to break down what your best odds are and how you win this thing. And we realized somebody had said, yeah, I was listening like on iHeartRadio, and there's a small little delay on digital, because I guess it's got to go through computers and all that kind of stuff by the time you get it. So listening to the actual broadcast signal gives you the best chance. And that is anything from, Key Largo to Vero Beach, basically.
Nice.
That's your best odds of winning this thing. So we got Rich on here from Jupiter. What up, Rich?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing big.
Cool. I keep hearing myself.
That's pretty creepy.
Pretty creepy. Yeah.
Do you have your radio up, Rich?
No.
Okay.
There's a serious hardcore echo, Rich.
Yes. Okay, we good, Rich?
Yeah, you can.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Rich, I don't know why. Just the way you're talking, I picture you in a dark room, like hidden somewhere, like under a table or something. I don't know why.
Oh, no.
Okay. You picked up $5,000 yesterday, Rich?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Did you have any secret to picking up the $5K yesterday? What'd you do?
I just waited till the song was over. I called. It said the line was busy, so I called again. So I called like 5 times, and then I heard it say hello.
Nigga, like, hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, and that was it. So 5 times. So you waited till the song was over. You waited 5 times, and you called, and then you got through, and you got $5,000.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that money there, Rich?
Pay some bills, fix the car.
Pay some bills, man. Let's go on a trip. Let's get some food.
Yeah, it's kind of tough.
Do this thing.
I'd seen this viral story today. This girl paid over $100,000 in student loans in 6 years, and it talked about what she did. No ride sharing, extra jobs like walking dogs and things like that. She was celebrating. I was like, good for her, I guess. But still, that was like 6 years of she really had no social life.
I hate it.
Just knuckled down and did that.
I'm in my 40s. I'm still paying off my student loans. I thought I was paid off. I'm not.
Yeah. It's tough, right?
Yeah, man. I hate when people have it together.
There you go. Taylor Swift apparently did one of those Tiny Desk concerts that they do up on Facebook.
I love those things. They usually put them on YouTube, and they have them to where the sound engineer, whoever does those things, is the best in the game. Very critically acclaimed for sound engineering on those videos.
Okay. Yeah, they do it with NPR. If you want to see that, that is up. We'll get that on the KBJ Show Facebook page, so you can go and check out Taylor Swift. And what is it? They just do kind of like an acoustic thing. It's like her just a guitar and a microphone, and she just sings.
Yeah, they had one with Sting and Shaggy a couple months ago that was so good. And yeah, just a bunch of acoustic instruments and then some backup singers, and it looks like a little library or something. Very cool.
Okay. Go and check that out. A big new little thing that they're doing. I thought they used to do cubicle concerts. Wasn't that a thing years ago?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
There's been bathroom sessions.
Oh, that sounds not as...
The Bare Naked Ladies used to do that.
Well, that seems they're Bare Naked Ladies, of course.
Hopefully it was a single unit and not like with stalls so other people could go in there and do their business.
No, they'd go into the bathroom at one of their houses and they'd sing their songs together, and the acoustics are so good. The fans loved it.
Really?
Bathroom sessions.
Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Pick your place. So, do you have anything that gets your family triggered? You can't even mention it or else they will lose their marbles.
Or it'll at least set off some drama that will ruin the day or cause some moments that you don't want.
Yeah, probably every family does. There's maybe that unspoken bit of tension that's never really been resolved. And if you kind of go down that path, that immediately 2 sides are going to get bristly and it's going to get tense.
Yeah, I was thinking there's this one person, if I even bring up their name in front of my family, it will cause some kind of a fight or a weird moment. So it's almost like Beetlejuice. You can't say this person's name.
What's the name?
I can't. The reason why I can't say it right now is because I have people here locally that I'm already saying too much, Kev. But by the fact of even bringing that up, it will get people. My mom hated this person.
Are they a relative?
They are a relative.
Okay.
Are they going to be at your sister's thing?
No, they will not be there. But it's not an immediate relative. It's more of a northern relative. But if you to bring it up and you start even saying anything, it causes some tension.
Because they cause drama.
Big time.
That
and
rip people apart.
You are also raised not to talk about this name either.
If you got somebody that is a manipulator too in a family that is trying to pit somebody against somebody else, and they go, pss, 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 they're whispering in somebody's ear, and then they go whispering in another person trying to get them upset, and then you ever discover who that person is,
Oh yeah.
that kind of stuff's going to happen all the time.
But I know there's other families that you can't bring up anything. You can't bring up certain friends. You can't bring up certain stories. If not, they lose their mind. I was at a get together one time, and the brother started telling this story about this. He had his brother there too, and he's talking about it. his ex-girlfriend and this embarrassing story about how he farted and it was in front of all these people. He got so mad about how he was getting embarrassed about this fart story. You're never supposed to bring that up. It made it really uncomfortable.
You see, this is going to be that time of year when we get into the holidays where if you don't know what that thing is that your family gets bristly about, sometimes you find out what that thing is that your family gets bristly about.
Does your family have anything? Is there something you could say to the Queen during a family function that's going to absolutely just make the whole thing go to crap?
That I could say to the Queen? No, but there are situations that I know are going to become tense that either I know would make my mom anxious or I know would make my wife anxious. And so I just try to avoid getting into those kind of situations that would bring about that tension and anxiety.
Is your mom, is it more drinking stuff probably?
Yeah, there might be some stuff. You know, I think my wife doesn't kind of like being sedentary and sitting around inside all day. My parents prefer that kind of stuff. And so that's kind of a hard balance. You got to make sure that you do both to try to appease both. So it's like you give a little bit of face-to-face mom time, but then you kind of get the wife out and about so she's doing stuff.
Is there something you could bring up that your family would fall apart?
I wouldn't bring it up, but I know when I have certain people in my family together, and there's some very Republican ones, and there's some very liberal ones. They often like to start just yapping, and that is a recipe for no good. Like, I want nothing to do with their politics or any conversation about politics, but you can see it like starting to boil over.
That's got to give you anxiety. If you have two groups of family members and one's one side and the other's the other side, you probably try.
And they both lippy.
And they're lippy, yes.
They both think that they're right, and they got something to say, and you're just like, shut up.
Because I think you can be from the right and the left and still get along, but some people can't.
No, most people can't. In fact, stay away from politics and religion at the family gatherings coming up if you didn't know that.
No religion ever, huh?
Not unless everybody's on the same page.
Yeah, I guess. It's not a good time to go into weird whatever philosophy.
If you have somebody that's very religious and somebody that thinks that it's the stupidest thing ever, yeah, don't start bringing that conversation up.
Not saying it's stupid, but could you bring up questions, or do you think just stay away from it completely?
It depends upon the people in the room.
And I love how
I do it now.
The most broke people in my family have so many fiscal advice things to throw around the table. It is annoying. They can't even pay their own like rent or child support, but yet they got advice for everybody about how our nation should be fiscally doing A, B, and C. I'm like, shut up.
And I've noticed that with diet advice too.
The fattest guy that just ate half the turkey.
Telling you that you probably shouldn't have that pot. Wait, what?
You guys have seen that happen to me. Someone giving me advice. They're like, all right.
We're talking about this too because this is going to happen coming up with the holidays. Awkward relatives too that come out. What is the story about your awkward relative? Do you have one of them that just makes people feel weird? And what do they do to make people feel weird?
What if you are the awkward relative?
If you don't have a story, you are the awkward relative. So start figuring out what it is you do. We asked the question on the KVJ Show Facebook page. You can also text in your stories to 877-979-WRMF. So what is it that triggers your family? Jaybird's got a relative that cannot be mentioned ever, or else the whole family just loses their marbles?
Not the whole family. It'll cause a thing potentially. It's like Bloody Mary. Don't speak of this name.
Yes. Okay. A lot of people are agreeing that religion is it. Somebody said, just say the word Trump and my family starts fighting. You probably know that. Someone else texted in and said, yeah, my grandpa lives in Buffalo, still doesn't know about my almost 2-year-old daughter because he'd lose his stuff if he knew I had a kid out of wedlock.
So you bring that up at a family function. Look out.
Yeah, look out. Keep those secrets. And if it's not the triggers, it's maybe the people causing the triggers. Weird, awkward relatives. Who is that person that just, you are so tense every time they show up because you know they're probably going to cause some issues? We got a text said, yeah, I've got a super racist uncle who's also stuck in the 70s and refuses to listen to anybody else's thoughts. And he once got into an argument with the entire family because he insisted that New England was a state.
Look what you're dealing with.
Just got to ignore that guy. We asked the question up on the KVJ Show Facebook page. Tell us about your awkward relatives. Some of the responses that we got. Chad said, my uncle would give everybody shoulder massages, women, men, strangers. And
out of the blue?
You just come up and just start massaging and just like, oh, no.
That's a bold move.
He just wants to be touchy?
Yes, he's just touching everyone. He's like, oh, no, please, not me, not me, not me. Oh,
Such a bold move.
It is. Jacob said, my dad was a mouth kisser, and he seemed to have a personal mission to touch lips with my wife. Oh. She always be like, oh my gosh, I got to try to avoid your dad.
How do you even do you bring that up to your dad? I say something to my
Stop trying
dad.
to mouth kiss my wife.
Dad, just keep it on the cheek.
Niche responded, said, my daughter's grand uncle always hugs me just a little too long. And then he whispers things in my ear like, my nephew's a fool for letting you go. Oh, or he'll just hug me and say, It's so creepy and just on the borderline of inappropriate.
I don't
Can
know.
you imagine just a deep hug and just going,
With your uncle.
Yeah, there's a good social experience. Hug somebody and just moan and see what happens.
Lauren said, my mom's cousin's husband once ate a moth. We're just sitting there watching. You just snatch it, ate it.
He snatched it out of the air and ate it?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, my gosh.
And another text said, my uncle only eats pork products, but like specifically just hot dogs and bacon. So we have to make him his own food in addition to the holiday meal.
He'll be dead by Christmas.
Hot dog casserole.
How long has he been eating only pork?
I don't know.
Only bacon and hot dogs?
That can't be good for you.
No.
Another text just came in and said, my awkward relative is my dad. He likes to tell everybody about his piercing on his privates.
Oh, my gosh.
Rock and roll, Pops.
Daddy.
Wow. Okay. That's some good stuff. So everybody's got some interesting stuff happening with their families. You want to tell us about yours? 877-979-WRMF. Okay, you're chilling at a bar. You look to your right, about 3 or 4 stools down, you see a big-time celebrity just sitting there chilling by themselves. Like, oh my gosh, that's a pretty good opportunity. I don't want to miss my chance, but what could I say? Is there any line I could do where they're not going to be like, just please leave me alone? What would you do?
I don't know. I'd probably blow it. Don't look at me. I get all starstruck and say something stupid.
You could go a couple different ways. You could acknowledge that they're the star and go, oh, I'm a fan, blah, blah, blah. Or you could just say something really kind of just benign. Hey, so what are the appetizers like in this place? Have you ever had them before?
Oh, okay.
Kind of get them roped in that way.
Almost like you're treating them like a normal person if they weren't a celebrity.
And if Clooney's like, well, the potato skins are pretty good. Oh, really? Potato skins? Interesting. I had a potato skin not that long ago that wasn't that good, so I'm interested to try this potato skin.
There's zero chance George Clooney recommends the potato skins.
Really?
Yes.
I'd get like a big cheese plate and be like, man, all this cheese and no one to share it with. You want some?
Terrible idea. Who is this crazy woman that's farting from eating this cheese? Did she poison it?
She's been pawing all over this cheese plate. Now she's like, no, I'm good. Thanks.
You get freaked out if anyone looks at anything here at the station with food.
Cheese does not make me fart, for the record.
Okay. All right. I'll take you at face value on that. I'll take it at fart value.
We got 3 recommendations. George Clooney sitting 3 bar stools away from you. Which do you think is the best option? You turn to him, you'd be like, did I once see you in The Facts of Life? That's option 1.
Yeah, go ahead. Insult him about the one gig he doesn't want to talk about.
Okay. You know what? I think I've seen you somewhere before. Is your name Tim?
Mm-mm. Nope.
Sup, brah? You like White Claw?
Out of the 3, that's the best one.
Okay. So that's how you approach George Clooney.
I think everyone's going to be different, too. Every celeb's going to be different.
Yeah.
If you have a Clooney at the end or a Corey Feldman at the end, it's going to be different.
Feldman drinks the claw. I don't know if Clooney takes your claw.
Feldman's supposedly straight edge. Supposedly.
Whatever. I'm not buying it.
Somebody texted in and said, yeah, I shared a few drinks with Jason Segel at a bar in NOLA called I don't know, something Blacksmith?
Oh, Lafitte's Blacksmith.
Lafitte's Blacksmith.
Yeah,
okay.
it's the oldest bar in the country.
Of course you know.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah. On Mardi Gras, that's where I go first. On Mardi Gras Day, I go there and get a purple drink.
Okay. He was sitting at the table in front of me with a very attractive woman, and people kept walking up and asking for photos and bothering him. When I got up to walk to the bar for a second beer, he was getting up too, and I just said, "Don't you wish all these people would leave you alone so you could enjoy your hot-ass date?" He looked at me and said, "Thank you," and we walked to the bar, and he bought mine and my ex-husband's round, and we all hung out a little bit.
That's cool.
That's how it's done.
You got to be cool. You got to play it cool. You got to act cool. You can't dork out. See, that's why I'd blow it.
I mean, you had this really when you met Vanilla Ice. You're sitting at a Mexican restaurant. You look over and go, oh, my gosh, there's Vanilla Ice eating Mexican food. What do I say? What do I do?
Yeah.
Didn't you chase him out in the parking lot?
I waited till he left because I know, that's one thing. People don't like to be bothered when they're eating. And then when he was leaving, I just went out and I introduced myself. And
what was your opener?
I just went, hey, just want to say hey. And that was it, and introduced myself just like a normal person would, and said, hey, I do a radio show. I had an idea. I wanted to, run past you. So if you get a chance, just shoot me an email.
Did you ever work in I Am the Kevin Ralston?
I think I did say yes. Maybe you've heard of me.
I don't know. He didn't have his new hair back then.
Yeah.
The confidence wasn't riding as high as it is today.
He did it on all grit and all heart. I love it.
Somebody else texted and said one time at Rock Bar in Fort Lauderdale, Johnny Depp was sitting across from me and I was alone. I looked at him, I said, holy bleep, Johnny Depp. He said, shh. I said, okay. And we continued to drink our drinks and said nothing else.
He shushed you.
Holy bleep, Johnny Depp. Shh.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Melissa here from Miami Lakes. What she said to Robert De Niro at a bar. This is awesome.
Looked at my glass and said, Donald Trump is still your president.
You said that to Robert De Niro?
He blew a gasket. Yeah.
He got mad?
BB head. Yes, he did. He hates Donald Trump. That's why we did it. And I think I did it also because I've been drinking a little bit, but who cares? It's a story to tell.
Wow, that takes some onions to say that to Robert De Niro.
But he's not really a mafia guy, though. You know what I mean? He's just an actor.
No.
I know, but he's scary.
Well, no, but it's still the whole thing about him is that is his trigger. If you want to know Robert De Niro's trigger, just mention Donald Trump.
But even a fan coming up to you saying that?
Yeah, I don't think he can. I honestly, I think he's so obsessed about Trump, like he cannot. All you have to do is say Donald Trump's name, and he loses his marbles. Have you seen him in some?
No, I have in interviews, but he's in front of a camera at that point.
Yeah, so that's crazy.
That's ballsy of her. No. Okay, that's ballsy.
She's been drinking. She said.
Somebody said that. Yeah, this happened to me with Billy Joel. I was at a certain place, strip club in the afternoon. I was pretty drunk, and I told Billy Joel, "Hey, you know what? You look like Billy Joel." And pretty soon he left, and they're like going, Billy Joel has just left the building.
Yeah,
it really was him.
I've heard him in interviews say...
He was sitting by himself in a strip club?
Billy sometimes rocks alone by himself for sure. But yeah, he was doing an interview. He goes, yeah, sometimes I'll go to like a Yankee game or a Met game, and people want to talk to me. I just kind of want to be left alone. So that alone...
Well, then buy a box suite. Don't go sit with the people if you want to be left alone, especially at a Yankee game.
Now, in his defense, that interview was from 1982. Things might have changed since then. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's all in the approach. It's all in how you do it. And I think usually if you're cool, then it's all good.
Well, I mean, Billy Joel's my all-time favorite anything. If I was at a bar and it was just me, him, and he's a couple stools down, what is my opening line to Billy that I don't scare him away?
I don't know if you can.
I don't think I could.
Because you're like me. You would dork out.
It's too much. If you have that, and
it's too big.
I think we all have that kryptonite, that one person. I got my one person. I can talk to anybody else. There's one person I just cannot. I've been face to face with him 2 or 3 times.
Kirk Herbstreit.
And I fall apart every time.
I saw you.
I walked up, I opened my mouth, and he was like getting ready to hear me, and I just turned and walked away. And he's like, "What is wrong with that guy?" Bizarre. I don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I cannot talk to that man.
I turn and then say something like, hey, Billy Joel, so tell me when you were right in Summer Highland Falls, where were you meant? He's probably like, I don't want to talk about
Get away from me.
Exactly.
You weirdo. And why are you wearing a Dolphins cheerleader outfit?
Maybe he'd talk to me because of that.
Somebody else texted in and said, yeah, I was working at a boat show one year, and I look over this dude, and I talked to my friend. I'm like, look at this guy trying to look like he's Kenny Chesney. Guy turned to me, he's like, dude, I am Kenny Chesney. It was Kenny Chesney. He's like, dummy. He's like, that really is Kenny Chesney.
That's awesome.
Yep. This is kind of cool. Angel's on here from Lake Worth. This is a good opening line for any celebrity. Angel, you have a tattoo of a celebrity, and you actually ran into him.
I do. So this was back in, I think, 2012. It was a tropical storm happening right down here. So I was down at Lake Worth Beach just watching the waves at Benny's on the beach.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, this big, loud Escalade shows up, and who is it but, the infamous Vanilla Ice, right?
That's funny.
So as soon as I saw him, I got, butterflies in my stomach, and he walks up, and I, hop off the bench. I'm like, oh, my God, I have to show you something. And at first, he got really stunned. But then I turned around, I showed him that I have a tattoo of his face on my back.
Wow.
And, his response was, word to your mother. True story. I swear he said that. It was awesome. It was fantastic. And then he took a picture and tweeted it on his Twitter. And, of course, I was all over the bad tattoo. But, whatever.
That's pretty cool, though. That's a great story. I mean, yeah, if you got these, you deserve a conversation if you've got their face tattooed on your body.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
You at least deserve a conversation. You probably deserve an appetizer and a drink.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
It's all about the opening line. All right, got a good one. 877-979-WRMF.
Get the info on everything that's going on with us at kvjshow.com.
A couple of cool celebrities, like what you did for your opening line, actually get some interaction with them. Sean said, I wound up playing basketball with Adam Sandler at Gold's Gym in Boca. I just said, hey, what's up, man? He said, hey, you want to play 2-on-2? And so we actually played basketball.
That's sweet.
That was pretty cool.
I've heard he's really cool. My buddy has a Sandler story. He's wearing a hockey jersey out there, and I believe he's out in Vegas at a casino carrying a beer in a can and sat down, and my buddy sat down and just started talking with him. Said he was very down to earth.
Well, we got the one listener, and, Espen. They have the kid, that's her kid's name, and Adam Sandler heard him say the kid, he's like, that's a kid's name, and so he wound up using that in one of his movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, their kid was the inspiration for that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's down here a good bit. He's got a really nice house on the water in Boca, so he's in South Florida a good bit. Andy, she texted and said, yeah, my friend and I, we met O.J. Simpson at Passion at the Hard Rock. I think I remember when he was there. She said we went up to him and shook his hand and then proceeded to ask him if that was the hand he killed his wife with.
Oh, damn.
Oh, my God.
Oh.
So I feel like OJ, you could come up to him and talk about anything, and he's going to talk right back and jump in the conversation with you.
I don't know if there's anything he can really say about it.
And he probably, it might be the hand,
Might be the hand.
Might be this one. Might be this one.
Might be the hand that kills you later. I don't know.
I don't know.
It might be. I don't know.
I would never be able to walk up to him and say that.
No.
I feel
There's
that's probably
no
that was
way.
probably fueled by a couple cocktails, maybe. Getting there. Did you guys hear what wound up causing all the chaos at the Town Center Mall in Boca on Sunday?
No, they thought it was gunshots,
Yeah.
but then they could never find a gun.
Well, I was kind of, in the middle of it. I was, it was Sunday, and I was with my wife, and we got FaceTime from my daughter. She used to work there, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, did you hear there's a shooting at the Town Center Mall?" I'm like, "Oh, no way! Was it bad?" She's like, "Yeah, I think I'm hearing right now there was 7 people." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is terrible, terrible news." I'm like, "What happened?" She's like, "I don't know. There was gunfire started in the food court." So, all these calls and things are happening. So I'm trying to get on Twitter to find out what's going on and all this stuff. And then it goes from, yeah, we think maybe there's just one lone shooter. We're kind of on it. And I saw the video, and there's SWAT teams and there's cops all over the place. Then I see a video. There's a guy down in the parking lot. I'm like, oh, this is just terrible. And then it starts to get a little bit more clarity, going, okay, there was no shooter. We're trying to see what was going on. I'm like, wait, what happened? And then it came down to well, what about that guy that was laying down in the parking lot?
Bleeding from his head.
Yes. That was a guy that was running from people screaming active shooter, and he hit his head on the revolving door. And apparently hit it so hard he left some blood and skin on the door. And then he walks outside and he's like, oh, and he's all dizzy and falls down in the park. So the cops are showing up oh, people are running out of the mall and just falling down with gunshot wounds.
Oh, no.
So there's all this chaos that happened, and it all began with a janitor who popped a balloon.
That's it?
He saw a balloon, pops it. People are like, shooter! Everybody starts running. Chaos happens.
Oh,
Guy
boy.
hits his head. SWAT teams are showing up. Kevin's daughter is FaceTiming. There's a shooting going on at the Pokeball.
I mean, I understand why people are squirrely. There's times where I'll hear a big old bang, and I'll think, oh my gosh, what is that? It sounds just like a gun to me.
Yeah.
People are on edge.
No, it's crazy. And, that's the thing that just really stinks with, where we are today in our society is you can set things off. In fact, I was reading an article and they're talking about it's kind of happened at a couple other times. I can't remember. I think it was either Dadeland or something like that, where there was a guy from South Carolina had a plan. He walked into a jewelry store, started trying on a Rolex, has it on his wrist, hits a button to text his friend. His buddy lets off a couple firecrackers. People are going, active shooter. And he takes off running in the melee with a Rolex on his wrist.
Really?
Yeah, and I think he was from South Carolina, so he's thinking, okay, I just disappear into the crowd, hop into a car, we drive back to South Carolina with his Rollie. And I think they obviously, because they had his name, they caught him.
Oh.
But I'm like, people are now using that to their advantage.
I like when you call Rolexes Rollies.
Yeah.
You're so in the game.
I am. You know me. I'm so trendy. I can't help it. Yeah, but it's legit. And I just saw today the headline that the Stoneman Douglas Commission is urging that we reduce the number of active shooter drills in schools.
Don't get me started.
I got a kid in a school, and they're always sending emails. Okay, we had a very successful drill today, but it's very frequent.
I'm very against the shooter drills that nobody knows about. I don't think
Surprise.
I do not think that is good for the kids. I really don't. I don't think it's good for the teachers that don't know about it. I think that alone, whether there's a shooter or not, that's going to leave some terrible memories for you. I personally think there's got to be a better way than that.
Let's practice. Let's have a plan.
Yes.
Let's know exactly what we're going to do. But let's not scare the crap out of people and make them think that they're about to die.
And I understand the reasoning behind it. Oh, you want to make it real so people really know what's going on. I'm sorry. I still think it's not a good idea.
People know the risk. I believe that most students are going to take it seriously when you do an active shooter drill at the school.
Well, I'm getting emails from people saying, hey, can you guys talk about this stuff? Because my kid went through one of those drills, didn't know about it, and she's in therapy now.
That's terrible.
John is in our chat room. He said, yeah, that store you're talking about, Kev, I'm the manager of that store with the Rolex.
Oh, wow.
How about that? So, yeah, the manager of that store is listening. That is crazy.
Now,
what a scheme. Yeah, maybe we ought to get him on. It's kind of interesting to hear because you're thinking, wow, he had an accomplice outside.
Yeah.
He's like, when I get on my wrist, and all he had to do is just hit the button, send in the text, do it. Boom, bang, 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 fireworks.
And off you go with a rollie.
That's crazy. How did they have his name, you said?
Whose?
The guy that stole the Rolex.
I assume he got caught because they had his name and they had his South Carolina. So I assume that somehow they traced him down. That's what I didn't
Probably
see.
in the parking lot.
If this is a store,
Video.
there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah. Danielle is on here from Boca. You say that your friend was there with her 3 kids in the play area when everything went down on Sunday, Danielle?
Yes, hi. So my friend was at the mall with her husband and her 3 little children under the age of 4. And she was in the play area, and she told me that she just heard a big commotion coming from the new play area that they just built there, and she heard a commotion in the mall, and people were screaming and running and just fleeing, and she didn't really know what was going on, but then she heard somebody screaming, "Shooter, shooter!" So of course, instinctively as a mom, she tried to scramble her kids together, but there was so much going on. She said she couldn't reach her kid, she couldn't get to all 3 of her kids, and there was just people running and freaking out. But she said she ended up with her husband. She was able to scoop them up and just put one, strapped one on her with her baby carrier, took off. And then when she was running, she saw people falling, and she saw people running on people, just trampling over people. And, and when they got to the car, her son was like, "What's going on?" And he's 4. And he's like, "Mommy, what's happening? What's going on?" And he was crying over a balloon at the end. It turns out it's a balloon. I mean. Yeah,
and gosh, that's just what's so crazy. I don't think people just know. I don't think any of us know what the answer is or what to do. I know that they are calling for places like malls to have better security so that I guess people who are in there have a better sense of security while they're there, that maybe they wouldn't, their first reaction to hearing a pop in active shooter, and then the chaos that you can cause And we were talking about this yesterday. How many people now are going to just start doing that? That, somebody dumb who thinks it's funny is going to make that happen. Yeah, John in our chat room had said that they caught that guy. Apparently, he had that whole plan. He's doing it all up and down the eastern seaboard.
Oh.
So the FBI was already kind of on his tail. So
Gotcha.
it wasn't like one and done. He had done this other places. And, you ever seen those FBI shows? We're like, yeah, we're following, and they've got a map on the wall, and he hit here, and he's gone here. And so we're tracing him. He's probably going to hit South Florida next. So when they got a call, active shooter, okay, that's our guy.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, how the police catch all these people now with the cameras, it's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't have a getaway car. You would have to literally run away on foot. And then hope that there's no cameras wherever you park your getaway car eventually. But there's cameras everywhere.
There are. That's how they catch all these people. They'll even on foot. They'll run past another place, and they'll even have their face covered. But something will happen where they run into one other place and they buy something, and a receipt will take them down. These cameras are bringing everybody down.
You got to have your getaway car like in the woods.
Without a license plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you where we are with security now. I don't know if this makes you feel good or not, but they say now that around half of Americans are now in the police facial recognition database.
I believe it.
Half of us.
I don't mind being in it.
I don't care.
I think the only people that don't want to be in it are people that are shady.
Murderers.
So if you have a problem with being in it, you're the problem.
Probably, yeah.
There's even this thing that they have on some police cars where they're driving and a car's coming the other way. If there's a license plate on there, they've got this scanner that automatically scans the license plate, and the information comes up to whether they have a warrant or not.
Wow.
Well, you're driving. I don't know if it's in the States yet,
Well,
but I know
Florida
other countries
doesn't have front license plates.
Yeah, I know other countries have that because it was on one of the murder specials I was watching. That's how they caught one of the people driving, and the person had a body in the car, and they had to go back to all of this footage that they had. They had no idea it was a murderer, but because of the footage they kept in that little system, they could go back and get all that person's information.
Wow.
It's crazy.
It's crazy.
Ow! There's a lot of dumbass criminals to talk about, baby. It's the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news. So many people on meth. Ow!
Yeah. Well, I guess it's that time of year. You just never know. When we get around Halloween, imagine this. You go into your basement, and it is filled with 5 inches deep of blood.
Blood?
Blood.
Blood?
It has 5 inches deep of blood, Virginia.
Blood?
I mean, this is a job for Tampax.
Right?
Or Kotex.
Or Kotex. Whatever your favorite flow stopper, ladies.
Wow. So what exactly was causing the 5 inches of blood? Was it a demonic possession? Was it somebody hacking bodies to pieces? Well, kind of. Actually, they lived right next door to a meat locker in Iowa.
Oh my gosh.
And apparently the meat locker had come under new management that had new policies on how they were draining the blood.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
You don't have to cut much to get a lot of blood.
Yes. So apparently
How
they
do
were
you
just...
know?
I've cut myself, and
Yes.
even
it's been his blood.
even the smallest of cuts, it looks like there's been a murder.
Murder.
Murder?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm a bleeder, man.
Oh, we believe it. Yeah. So here's what's happened now. The homeowner has contacted the meat locker about the problem, and the new management said, yeah, it's not our fault. Good luck.
Are you kidding me?
They said if you want to do anything about it, it's on your dime.
Oh, this is war.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So now the family's temporarily living somewhere else, and they got the Board of Health involved,
Good.
talking to them about it.
Ah, this meat locker.
Right?
You should be able to also not just sue them for the cleanup, but then sue them for pain and suffering and damages and having to get a new place. I mean, you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Preach, Virginia.
Get him.
That's right.
Meat bullies.
Get him, mama.
Meat bullies. There's another great Halloween-themed story. There's a guy in Washington that was sitting with his roommate, and he was suspicious that maybe his roommate was actually a vampire. Wait, he thought his roommate was a vampire.
Vampire?
Vampire.
Did you say vampire?
Vampire.
We were stalling. Kevin couldn't find that button.
No, somebody keeps jacking with my iPads and changing all the buttons around. So every day it's a new trick.
You should bite him in the neck.
Yes.
Like a vampire.
Like a vampire. Punishment. So apparently they were just kind of like joking around. I don't know. Maybe his friend had dark hair. He was wearing a black cape. I don't know. Maybe he had sharp fangs.
Pale skin.
But they were talking about vampires, and the victim jokingly said, yes, is that what the kids are calling me these days? A vampire? That's when his roommate grabbed a metal rod and jumped up and stabbed him in the chest.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, was he a vampire?
He apparently was not, because now he's in the hospital, and they ran tests. They're like, no, this man is not undead.
He just took a DNA test, found out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you usually don't see Dracula or vampires in the hospital.
No, you usually do not. So I guess he proved his point, but he went the hard way to do it. So apparently his roommate is not Dracula.
It's troublesome, too. Just on the record, 2 adult men, anywhere past 30 years old that have roommates, I'm very, very suspicious.
Well, that's because you're very, very judgmental.
Good point.
Definitely resemble that.
Good point. Floridians, we like to use heavy machinery to get our point across or to do our dirty work for us. In Cape Coral, a guy used a forklift to break into a business and then got naked once he was inside. Security cameras caught all the action.
Sexy.
Yes. He used a hammer to break box truck windows, the glass front door, and the side window of the building. Then he stripped down in a nearby warehouse and took a shower. By the time officers arrived, the man refused to drop the hammer, so a canine unit took him down.
Naked.
Yeah, and we don't know by what appendage.
I've been taken down by a canine unit, but I was fully clothed.
Canines love to go for the sausages.
You want to have pants on when a canine is coming after you. I know from experience. The man has been charged with burglary and criminal mischief, so watch yourself on that.
Gosh, to be chased by anybody naked is rough.
It sounds like he was on something. He's breaking every window with a hammer. Like, what the hell?
Well, you pray he's on something.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. They got another story of heavy machinery here. As a Newport Richey man got arrested after he intentionally drove his SUV into a home during a feud with the homeowner.
I get it.
What a way to get your point across. The man was so drunk when he backed his SUV into the home, he told the cops that he drove it there thinking that the individuals were there, but they weren't actually home. And they said, well, why would you do it? He said, well, we've got a long-standing feud. Okay, then. And something else that you might do during Halloween. I know Jaybird himself has already done this. He's done those EVP recordings to find out what kind of things are going bump in the night.
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Got some updates that I'll talk about hopefully tomorrow.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, we've heard your EVPs. Some guy actually had the bright idea that he was going to do this, so he was recording audio all night, hoping to pick up some paranormal noises. But he actually wound up capturing something a lot more sinister.
Sinister?
Sinister.
Vampires?
This is the audio of what he recorded as he was trying to get the ghosts that were bumping around his apartment. Here's the actual recording that he posted up on Twitter. What?
Was that a... Oh.
Apparently, he does not have ghosts in his apartment. He has farts.
I mean, he's got trumpet farts. What a... He needs to get that looked
So
at.
the next day, he's all excited to try to hear if he captured any ghosts. All he got was a whole night of him farting.
Those are some weird sounding farts.
Yes, they really are, aren't they? He's like, what are you doing? Oh, geez. Good heavens. Wow. Oh, wow. Good Lord. Oh, come on now.
That's horrible.
Oh, you don't want to sleep next to this guy. Oh, man.
Does he sleep on an aluminum bed? It sounds like they're ricocheting off of metal.
Somebody's got Crisco butt.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, so there you go. Very horrifying, whacked out news today. You know, actually, probably the weirdest story that we had all day today, Jaybird talked about earlier in the show, so it wasn't in the whacked out news, but it's this family of 6 that was in the Netherlands that apparently were holed up in this little secret room thinking that the end of the world was coming, and they've been there for years, 9 years, just waiting for the end of time.
I'm not that patient, y'all. I'm sorry. 9 years.
Well, even after 3 years and nothing's going on. I mean, 3 years is so long. Then you're tripling that time.
Oh, it's crazy. And I mean, the fact, too, that they even had like this little secret room in their farm that was there is just kind of odd, too, because how many people have a house with a secret room?
It looked like a big farm, too. The mail guy said he never went there. He's like, I never dropped mail off there. And I guess in retrospect, it seems a bit odd.
I have a secret room.
Do you really?
I probably shouldn't tell you, but it's under my stairs.
How do you, is there a door that goes to it?
There is. It's a little door, a tiny little door, but you have to go through the garage to get into it, and there's a bunch of stuff in front of it, so nobody would know it was there unless I talked about it on the radio.
What is in that room? Is it just storage?
Yeah, it's just storage right now, but...
Could you turn it into a room?
Totally.
With a bed?
You could put a small bed in there.
Little kitchenette?
Tiny kitchen.
Place for snacks?
Definitely snacks.
All right. I can make that work.
Yeah.
I can make a secret room work for the rest of my... I think I could.
It actually kind of sounds like fun,
It
doesn't
does.
it?
It sounds like
To
low
some extent.
pressure. Yeah. A place... I'm too big where I live at, and I hate it. It's too much work. I just want to live in a room.
You want to live in my secret room?
I kind of do. If it wasn't so far, I think I'm in.
That's the thing. You don't like the drive.
The story's bizarre because it's this 58-year-old guy, and they don't even know, like, is he the stepdad? Doesn't seem like he's biologically related to these 5 young adults now. Keep in mind, it's been 9 years that they've been in there. They're now age 18 to 25, so they're anywhere from 11 to 16 when they went into hiding. And they've been living off of this garden that they got outside there on the farm, and they also had a goat that apparently the 58-year-old guy would go out and tend to the garden and the goat and bring in the food, and so they would eat, but they had not been educated. They had not been groomed at all, and it all kind of fell apart when the oldest, the 25-year-old, just leaves. I don't know what happened. He just
had
walks
enough.
out. Yeah, he just walks out, and he goes to a bar, sits and orders and drinks 5 beers.
And then starts singing.
And then starts talking to the bartender who's like, okay, this is so weird. He needs to call the cops because the guy walks in. He's got long hair, dirty beard. He's got old clothes on. He looked confused and disheveled. And the guy's like, yeah, have another beer, man. You look like you need it. And he probably did.
5 beers. I guarantee you they weren't drinking no beer at the place probably. So he probably got
he
such
was
a
hammered.
buzz on.
Well, the thing that's fascinating to me, he's 16 when he goes into hiding. And at 25, the first place he goes is a bar.
That is weird.
I thought that was kind of odd because I'm thinking, okay, imagine this. You go into hiding and you're in these circumstances and you get out of the house. Where's the first place you go?
So what might
Is a bar the right move?
I don't hate it.
What might have happened?
Yeah, I can't say. I would argue with it. That might be my first place too.
He might have been freaked out about leaving, and he said, you know what, I'll just go to this bar. And he might have not even rolled over on anybody, but if you have 5 beers and you haven't been drinking, you're telling all the secrets. I mean, you're hammered after 5 beers.
It might have been the first business he ran into that
Yeah.
he could walk into.
Exactly.
And not feel like, okay, I'm walking into somebody's private, like, law office or doctor's office or something.
And you might not need to ID because if you have a big old beard and you look like you're a man, I mean, there's bars I've gone to that I've never gotten carded at.
Well, where would you go and why? A bar would be up there for me. And one, I'd do it, of course, because the first thing I'd want, I'd be like, oh my gosh, I need a beer or 5. And I would go in there. The other argument just from getting the beer, too, is I love going to bars because to me, I feel more plugged in to my community when I'm in a bar because people are in there, TVs are on. I'm able to, for me, trying to get all the information I want. I'm checking the TV, I'm getting caught up on news and sports, and I'm hearing what people are talking about. And to me, I feel like, okay, I feel plugged in. That's why another reason why I feel comfortable in a bar because I'm like, okay, I feel like I know what's going on in the world.
I'm not disconnected.
Yes, I feel very connected in a bar, and I'm relaxed, and I'm enjoying myself. So for me, a bar is the number one answer. But I could see for this guy, too, maybe a close second, going to a salon where you could get a haircut and a shave and cleaned up a little bit. Plus, you can also find out the gossip and what's going on there, too.
He didn't have any money, it sounds like. I mean, where's he going to have money from?
I mean, do you not get a sympathy shave if you, like, come in and you look like that and you're, like, going...
You should.
By the way, I'll let you guys tell the story. I'll name drop your salon because this is going to be all over the place.
You think he's thinking like that?
I don't know.
I don't think he is. I think he's probably brainwashed and he's messed up in the head. Whoever this stepdad or dad is that locked them all away, he sounds like a kook.
Oh, he definitely is a kook. Where's the first place you go, Jay Bird?
Food, somewhere food style.
Pizza.
A restaurant, yeah. I mean, it all depends on where I'm at. If am I on foot? What's near me? But definitely I'm getting some restaurant or restaurant food because that's what the body needs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A lot of people arguing and saying, maybe you should just go to the cops. That might be a good first spot to go.
But he might have not have gone. He might have not had any idea about rolling over on anybody. Like you're saying, he might have just walked into the bar, started drinking, and then go, we gotta maybe say something here. And then
What's been going on?
the bartender makes the call. The guy's probably institutionalized.
He's probably brainwashed.
Definitely. You don't stay in a house for 9 years you're definitely brainwashed.
They were old enough to know better when they went in. 11 is the youngest. You kind of know, okay, I should not be living under the stairs in a secret room.
Not if so we keep focusing on the 9 years that they were in hiding. This guy groomed them for many years. They probably were so afraid that the world was going to end because that's what they were taught from the day they could walk. They're going to be freaked out about that. You would be too, DeQuesta. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he says.
I'm not staying under anybody's stairs for 9 years. There's no way.
If you were raised that way, you would.
I would fight it.
Eventually you would because just the inner gremlin would come out.
9 years. That gremlin comes out in 9 minutes.
Yeah, Virginia now as a 49-year-old.
I'm not 49.
Oh, how old are you? I forget.
I'm 46.
But as for Virginia as a little girl, you are staying next to Big Linda if she's saying, get in the stairs, it's all going down.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Look at you listening to the KVJ show on 97.9 WRMF. Lucky.
Okay, quick little round of which is worse? People who have support animals on a plane or people who drive slow in the fast lane?
People who drive slow in the fast lane.
Are worse than people who have support animals on a plane.
Because
I
it's
disagree.
more. It's every single day. It's more of an annoyance. It's more of an occurrence. How many times do you fly in a year?
I know, but I can drive around somebody who's going slow. If I'm stuck on a plane next to like a support cat with my allergies, it's going to be miserable.
Lucky for me, I love animals. I'm sticking with my final answer. I believe Virginia's wrong on this one.
You do? Okay.
I do.
Yeah, what do you know?
Not much.
You're wearing a Dolphins cheerleading uniform.
Yeah, for passion, for the people who need some uplifting moments in this terrible season for the Dolphins.
I will tell you if you're one of those people that's taking advantage of the support animal system that is there on change.org, they've got an amendment to current rules and regulations of service animals. It writes, the law is too loose in wording and the punishment is too lenient or completely non-existent for falsifying a dog as a service dog, and it brings discredit upon the legitimacy of the dog's capabilities. We're calling for mandatory registration and the vetting of trainers and organizations. Please help us protect those who need these animals to function in their daily lives and protect their rights by cracking down on those who abuse the system to take their pets into stores.
Amen. I'm all about a real legit dog who's trained and actually is helping a person. I am not about those fake ones. People can go online and print out fake paperwork and they bring it to the airport. And then those dogs are the ones that end up biting people's kids in the terminal because they're all freaked out. Real support dogs don't bite anybody.
And you can't say anything about it. Like if you walked into a store, and you see this a lot in Boca, and you're there and somebody walks in with a dog, you're like, yeah, sorry, you can't come in here with your dog. Be like, oh, it's a service animal.
And then you're the jerk for questioning it. And then they'll go on Twitter, can you believe I was denied going into the store?
Because all they have to say is, it's a therapy animal. I have PTSD or whatever it might be. And
My pet kangaroo was not allowed in Burdines. I can't believe it.
And I think you need to go. Yeah.
Relevant reference.
Yeah, Burdines not around?
Not really.
Okay, not really.
Yeah, this was an ad in the paper in the 80s. Yeah.
I don't know about stores. I don't know about department stores. I go to Walmart.
We know.
Okay. Who put a nickel in you in the 9 o'clock hour?
Waking up.
Yeah, all of a sudden someone came to the dance today.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you can even go buy those vests that make it look legit for your dogs. And I don't think you have to have much at all to get them.
That is some shady business right there.
Because of that petition, there are people that are getting sick of it, and they're wanting to crack down and get more legitimacy to how these things are regulated.
I tell you what, there's more and more stories of these animals attacking children out in public.
Yeah.
And if any animal attacks my child in public, I am going to choke the life out of that animal right in front of its owner with my bare hands.
Wow.
Just bet your bottom dollar.
I'm over here still reeling about Burdines. I didn't know it closed down.
Yeah.
We used to go to the buffet there.
Yeah.
They had a Burdines buffet. I was raised on that
They
thing.
had a buffet in Burdines?
It was one of the best in South Florida. If anybody remembers that, please, they won't call.
So you can buy khakis and some mac and cheese.
Fat Kevin, the Burdines buffet was amazing back in the day. I mean, just pancakes galore, waffles the size of Virginia's head.
I got a big head, Kevin.
I mean,
Wow.
it was really, really good.
That's impressive. Okay, what do you think about this? Which is worse? People who drive slow in the fast lane or people who honk right when the light turns green?
People who drive slow in the fast lane.
Still?
Yeah, they're causing all of the problems. The other person beeping,
yeah,
that's going to annoy you for a few seconds. The person in the lane slowing everything down, that's why you're not getting your food on time. That's why you're late to work.
I think I have more passionate anger, and maybe it's not as long lasting.
I think the person driving slow in the fast lane is just stupid. The person honking at the red light is a jerk face.
Exactly, and that's why
I want to fight them.
Yes, I'm more passionately upset about the person who honks at me. It's like, really? I mean, and it's not even like I could get it if I'm sitting there for 5 or 10 seconds. Like, it just turned green.
Yeah, once again, Kevin, you got it right.
Thank
Burdines, you got it wrong.
Well, just the chat room, they're saying, wow.
Jay Burdines.
Jay Burdines.
Kevin and Virginia were really off with their answers today. They must be tired.
Jay Burdines.
I'm just telling you what the people are saying.
That's a good one, Kev.
No, thank you.
I
just woke up, too.
You guys are great. You guys are really coming on strong with 3 minutes left in the show.
Okay, which is worse? People who don't pick up their dog poop or people who refuse to tip?
People who refuse to tip.
I agree.
Okay.
Not even close. I'm annoyed with the dog poop people. I can get over that.
Okay.
Tipping, you're just being jerky.
What if it was refused to tip more than 10%? They give something, but they're like, oh, no, nobody's ever entitled to that. I'm not going to. I know what you're doing, restaurant. You're trying to get me to supplement the income that you're refusing to pay your hardworking staff.
Okay, that person's way too negative. I don't want to hang out or eat lunch with them. Give me the dog poop all day.
Really?
Yeah. I don't. Cheap people they annoy me when they're so vocal. I am not going to give you.
And then they double down.
They double down on their cheapness and how the industry says this. No. Okay,
you're annoying. That cheap person is so annoying to be around.
All right, Bird's back on the board. Bird got that one right.
You're back in the club.
Somebody said, yeah, I was in Panera Bread. Somebody brought in a small dog, and the manager said, sorry, it can't be in here. And they said, well, she's a support dog. And the manager said, yeah, do you have your paperwork? And they didn't have it. Called her bluff.
Boom. They did call my bluff with the owl stunt.
I just don't think support dogs should be allowed. I'm talking about service dogs. Those should be allowed because they're actually necessary for some sort of medical or physical ailment where the dog is like helping out with something that you can't see, or it's an epilepsy dog, or the dog smells your blood sugar is dropped, or whatever it is. If it's just a support dog because you have soft feelings and you can't go in Panera without being able to pet your dog, I'm sorry.
And there is, too, a radical difference between these service animals and the ones who are emotional support.
Exactly.
Yes.
Service animals all day, everywhere. Yeah. I'll sit next to them and sneeze.
Right.
All this talk about Panera makes a man want some bisque.
You love the bread bowl.
They got a great bread bowl.
Heather's on here from Lake Worth. You work retail, and there are some buzzwords that you have in retail, Heather.
Well,
Yeah, like we actually have to catch them at the front door because if they make it in, there's nothing we can do once they're in the building. But there are specific things that we can ask, and they have to answer in a specific way. And if they can't come in. If they tell us it's an emotional support animal, that is not recognized by the American with Disabilities Act as a service animal, and we can and do deny them coming in.
Good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, very nice.
I want to thank all the people in the chat room talking about Bird Eyes. A lot of people remember Bird Eyes Buffet. So many people do.
Jay Birdines.
Jay Birdines.
Jay Birdines. That's
awesome.
I love that nickname.
You got to bring it back.
He's over here really pushing hard and endorsing a business that's been closed for 20 years. My girl Mary Morris, that is The Bones here on the KVJ show.
Oh, that's her?
That's her, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That
It's
is
a
her.
Halloween song, actually.
Is it?
The Bones.
She's got a song I like. I play it all the time.
Which one?
If I was rich. Real sassy, Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of dance to it at home.
In that skirt, I'm not surprised.
I've been dancing a lot. I'm going to lose weight by dancing. Mark my words. I'm going to get my flat ass.
You are, okay.
Get a little booty.
Do some squats when you're dancing.
I will.
It's good for the butt.
Yeah, she's got a lot of good stuff. Check out a song called Girl by her. It's pretty good.
I know it.
Yeah, and then her original was My Church. It's a good little tune, too. So
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things.
I found her on Tiny Desk. To make it full circle, that's where I accidentally
really?
found her.
She was on a Tiny Desk just sitting there?
That Tiny Desk show on
okay.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The NPR Tiny Desk series of concerts.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you, Jay Birdine.
Oh, she's kind of trying to make that one stick.
Oh, I know. Yeah. All right, we got the show podcast going to be coming up on YouTube just about 10, 15 minutes from now. You can watch that live. It's also always on demand. We give you the stuff easy to find. Podcasts, too. Listen to the show. It is without music commercials, easy to get through every single day. We post it up with the After the Show podcast right at the end. If you got a podcast app on your phone, if you have an iPhone, it's purple. It says podcast. You can go to Podcast One, download that for free as well, or go to kvjshow.com to get it. Before we get to that, Jay Bird, give us a thought for the day.
If you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need.
Okay, you're right.
I was trying to get a buffet thought of the day, so I Googled buffet thoughts, and it gave me Warren Buffett instead. So that's a Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffet? Is that what we're calling him now? Warren Buffet, Jay Birdines.
Yes.
All right.
Your decision-making skills are on point. You're listening to the KVJ Show on 97.9 WRMF.